Hello everyone, welcome to the 205 building as we peruse their Christmas decorations.
Annie, welcome.
Thank you.
Christmas is alive at 2:05, and we're so happy to have you join us.
Thank you.
Many of our items have come from what we have as a recycling sale. This happens to be one. I added a little red to it, but look how nice it looks with the chairs. Picks up the same colors and works really well. And then we have Santa, and he's sort of watching the clock because he has to leave in time to deliver all the gifts. This tree is very much a 2020 tree. It has the magnolias on it and the gold glitter roping. As you see, there's lots and lots of different ways to do your garland. Sometimes it's fabric, sometimes, as it is here, it is a gold foliage garland, and it's just interesting what changes we're having in the way we're decorating trees. Total change from the tradition that we used to have with just balls and maybe some beaded garland, and that was it. You'll see a lot of different things on the trees as we move along. And of course, we're fortunate enough to have the library in our building, and we have put Santa Claus there and with lots of books, and it's just a perfect place for these Annalise dolls. They're collectibles, and these were purchased back in the 60s, and they have a lot of history behind them. They've been to a lot of different places during the time that we've owned them. And the committee that did this decoration worked really, really hard to get it set up. And I can't tell you how proud I am. We had 20 people working at different times, and it truly is their building and their decorations. She just left. And then of course here we have the doll, and you'll see the pattern on the doll on her outfit. You're going to see that more and more on this floor because we followed that through with more of the traditional Victorian look. And then here on the table, we have extended the look of the table by adding bows at the bottom, which brings your eyes from the top of the tree all the way down to the floor. And it gives it a lot more dimension. And this area, I call it our quiet place, place to meditate. And as you see, we have picked up on our pillows the same patterns, the same medallions. And we had a resident cut out the patterns so that we'll repeat them at different places all along this floor. This arrangement is done in a brass container, and under the angel is just a small wooden light box so that she will be illuminated. And of course we have to think about a coffee table. Not always should we put lots and lots of things on the coffee table because people like to sit down and set something on the table while they're talking if they have a book or a purse or whatever. So we have put the wreath underneath the glass so you can look down into it and enjoy it. And, you know, 3/4 of the coffee table is available to use for other things. I can see a plate of cookies there, can't you? We should have done that. We could have eaten a cookie. This is one of my personal pieces. I have enjoyed that through the years. She's an angel, and of course, whatever is in the bowl that she's carrying reflected the different seasons within my home. And she's always been very outstanding, and when I saw the fern stand there, I knew immediately that I would use one of my containers there. Yeah. This is what an existing piece of glass that I just love. It belongs to the village. We've tucked just some of the sparkle netting in it and some of the battery lights, and then of course brought the battery lights out to do the wreath that surrounds it. Back on the sideboard, we have just a small swag laying on the ledge so that it all blends together. I debated about putting some trim in the chandelier, but that would have pulled away from the look of the container.
She can see that, no such lights.
Okay, I moved from a big house. I've been here for a year, and you always wonder how you're going to trim in an apartment where you don't have a lot of space. And even in my home, I trimmed my lamps so that when you walk in and into the room, you immediately see Christmas decorations. And some of the ways that I did that was I have taller lights, but I took some ribbon and I just hung it down from up here. Or you can do just something simple and see how it changes the look of your lamp, and already brings the Christmas look out. Then even a bow with just a few pieces of pine. Then these little things, I'll show you at different places, could be used if you want to go something much heavier. And then here, it can be used on your table, and you can set different things around. I would maybe bring this one over here, and then I have this one. And you see how it decorates the table immediately.
I'm Sharon Chilcote. I've been living here, going into my 3rd year. So a lot of this is new to me, and I'm totally enjoying doing this under the guidance of Eileen. I had a couple of things that I brought down from my apartment to add, and Eileen thought they would fit in. One is the horse. I lived on a horse farm, and so for us to have this kind of a horse in our collection was not unusual. So we have enjoyed the horse there. And also I have an old-fashioned doll and the rocking chair. These were my mother's, and she was born in 1902. Of all the things she had, that was her treasure. That was her utmost treasure. And she never had a name. My sister and I always called her grandmother's doll. But I decided this Christmas, since she's here showing herself off, she will be called Mary Agnes. I'm wrong.
Mary Grace.
Mary Grace. Tell I've had a long day. Mary, M-E-R-R-Y. Grace, because that was my mother's middle name, and it fits with this time of the year. And the rocking chair is as old as Mary Grace. But I've loved this, and I was so glad to have the opportunity to include these items in Eileen's setting. That was fun. I have to tell you, residents, when Eileen came to me and asked me to help her, and she said she wanted me to do a feather tree, I said, do what? A feather tree? I had no way to know what she was talking about. So what did she do? She called me up and she said, come on up to 305 and I'll do the top part together, and then you'll know what I mean. So this is a result of Eileen's imagination, and a couple of us stuck things in, and I have to say, I don't think it's too bad.
she did a beautiful job with it, she and her committee. And as you see, this is typically 2020. You put anything in it that you want to put in except the kitchen sink and the branches won't hold it. Or most likely someone would try to put the kitchen sink in amongst everything else. I found that these pheasant feathers, believe it or not, at the dollar store, and when I saw them I thought, oh, they'll be great for Christmas. And then we have the sparkle medallions here and there, which you've seen in our other arrangements. And then a few of the copper sparkle little branches, and a few of the peach flowers tucked in to give all the colors, and of course topped with a few of the blue balls. I think it's an interesting tree. I love the colors. They're truly my colors. I like
They were
to
your
mix
colors, not my colors.
I know
But it
that.
turned out beautiful.
You need a challenge no matter
Well,
what.
you threw it at me.
We need a challenge.
Okay.
Have our little penguin village. This was done by a committee that Jean Hauk chaired, and she and her group did a wonderful job creating the look of outside and bringing the joy of possibly seeing a snowy background at some point during the holidays behind our little snow village with the penguins. Penguins were my oldest daughter's favorite decoration that we had at our shop, and she was very anxious to lend them so that we could have a penguin village.
Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh, o'er the fields we go, laughing all the way. Oh, 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 bells on bobtail ring, making spirits bright. What fun it is to ride and sing a sleighing song tonight. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh.
This is our Santa sleigh, and the doll is one of mine that one of my girls made for me, and she's just having a wonderful ride. And Lacey is our chair for this committee, and she's just putting some of the finishing touches. And Lacey, introduce yourself, and then each of the other ones introduce yourselves and tell us how long you've been here.
I'm Lacey Shank, and I've lived here 3 wonderful years.
Joyce McNeil, been here 6.5, and it doesn't seem possible.
Lynn Marr, and I've been here almost 3 years.
I'd like to talk a little bit about this tree. We've used a berry garland on it and lots of interesting little ornaments that you might want to take up closer a little bit later. This sleigh I found at an antique shop, and I knew immediately it had to be mine, and I've used it at my home with toys in it and at different times, and also at Christmas time with gifts, and it's really a very special piece to me. And this tree is very special to all of us. You know, I've been here for a year, and I can't tell you how glad I am that I'm here. It was wonderful to be here, and the care that we've been given. It must have been very, very difficult for management to make some of the really hard decisions that they passed on to us, but we know it was for our own good, and we do appreciate it. And I found out just one statistic, and maybe you have more to add to it, Annie, and that's the fact that they've hand-delivered over 70,000 meals to our doors. And that was by the end of November. And we just can't say enough to thank them. And we thought this would be the perfect way to thank them by dedicating this tree to all of the employees of Carroll Lutheran Village. Thank you.
And the meals are very good.
Thank you.
This nativity has been used for many years by one of our residents, Elsie Bost, and it certainly is an introduction to the Christmas season to know the true meaning of Christmas. And we must be very, very cautious this year with where we go and what we do, but we have to remember, no matter what, the reason for the season.